Okay, today is June 19th, 2020. I'm doing an update on the wildflowers. This is from the seeds that I purchased from American Meadows. In fact, the ones that I'm going to show you came from the free packet that came from my order from American Meadows. I really haven't, well, I did plant the one that I particularly ordered, but it was out in the front and I did it late. I did it a few weeks ago and it got hot, so it didn't really do well. But this is my tester, my very first time growing wildflowers successfully. I've been trying to do them for years, but this is the first time I've got really good blooms. So you can see on different parts of the meadow or the little wildflower areas that I'm sowing, you can see some of them are have matured and are ready to die down. A lot of some of them sections here do not get a lot of water, so some are doing better than the others, and you can see some of them have already kind of toppled down. We had a heavy rain today. So what you're seeing here are what they call the rose mallow. This, I've never seen this before. A lot of these flowers that were part of the mix, I've never grown successfully and I've never heard of before. So there's a lot of different blooms here, and you can see again a lot of them are about ready to die. They've already matured, but I have this, I don't even know what this is. I have to look up the packet to see what this is called. But I have I had poppies and all kinds of other wildflowers here, and again I can't recall a lot of these. And this one is an edible wildflower. It's pretty popular, but obviously I can't remember what it's called. It doesn't do so well in the heat, unfortunately, so now I know to sow them in a much better shaded area, or not direct heat at least. So here's another piece of that flower. It's so pretty. I don't know what it's called. So here's the back of the wildflower area. So before I seeded and put down these seeds, all I had here were the two trees. I have the pear and the apricot. So all of these were sort of bare. I have the purple heart that was growing here, and I had a rosemary bush and butterfly ginger, and so everything else I kind of pulled out because it was mostly really the purple heart. So the way that the seed was intended, from based on the video on the website, is that it's supposed to have cyclical blooms. So the first thing that came up were the cosmos, and I didn't get a video of that. And then the poppy came, and then that came out, and now the rose mallows are dominating. So on this bed, because the rose mallow are the taller plants, so I don't know if there were anything in there. Probably didn't thrive because it got shaded out. So you can see there's some blue stuff here. I think these are forget-me-nots. These are my larkspur, so I've had these for years. I've sort of reseeded them, so it actually complemented this section really well because it had purple and white blooms, and it was one of the first one that bloomed ahead of these big ones. So then I have I think this is baby snapdragons. Again, I got to do a better job remembering, but these are all new to me. But they're so pretty, these rose mallows. I didn't think it was gonna be this big, and you can see the difference. I'm gonna show you a different part of the bed where I kind of just inserted a few seeds here and there. So this is the wider area, right? This is a wider area. And so you can see, I'm gonna back off and kind of pan from left to right. It's really striking the way this entire section came out. I'm very happy. The only thing about this plant is it tends to wilt when it gets hot during the afternoon, but in the early evening and in the morning it kind of comes back on again. It's almost the same as my squash. It would wilt a little bit, looks a little sorry, but then it will pick back up in the morning or in the early evening. Okay, I'm gonna pan over here. This is not my wildflower section. I do have certain fruit trees. I got a moringa tree here. I got a peach, a pear that is not doing well, papaya, and my trusty calamansi. So this is the bed that I'm also still developing, but it's coming along pretty well. I have some I think that's a cantaloupe and that's a volunteer, and I planted some lilies here and there just to kind of fill it out, because in the beginning of the year this was completely bare except for the tree, the papaya tree, which survived the winter surprisingly, in these spider lilies. So I have my first spider lily, and I'm surprised that it's short. Like, it's normally it has a long stem, but this one is short stem, and I'm not complaining, because last year I didn't get any blooms at all. Most of my plants had some bugs that were eating it. So here's some more of the larkspur, and here you see the difference between the blue and the white. And again, I reseed these. I spread them out throughout the garden, and then they come up in like these odd places. It's very cool. Okay, so here's the section where I tucked in. I had like a little section of the flower bed where I cleared out the purple heart, because I had a lot of those. And you can see here there was purple hearts over here, so I wanted to make room for the spider lily that I had there. But you can see the rose mallow is not as tall, which is interesting. I planted this among the same time. It's a lot shorter, so you can see the variation of the different plants here. So here's I just noticed this is the larkspur, but instead of white and purple, it's actually pink. I've never had pink before. That's cool. Alright, so I gotta make sure I save those seeds. And some more of the purple ones, and it's the same. I think this is a baby snapdragon. And then I think these are the Chinese forget-me-nots. And then my zinnias. So zinnias, I've always had issues with zinnias. They don't come out as nice and healthy. They always get some kind of disease. But this one in particular is very healthy. The only thing is it broke off, and I think it tends to do that because it gets tall and I don't really put any trellis. So I try to prop it up as much as I can. So you can see you got really vibrant colors here. But yeah, surprisingly, again, the contrast on the rose mallow is what I wanted to point out. How this section only gets probably 4 to 5 hours of sun, because it's facing east, and so by the time the sun sets on that side, which is west, this is getting a lot of shade, so it doesn't get the heat of the afternoon sun. So I'm thinking that's the difference between this bed and the other one, where the rose mallow is at least 3 feet tall, and this is only like 2 feet tall. The other ones I think is 3, maybe 4 feet tall. Okay, so that's the wildflowers. Just kind of pan out. All of the beds are filling out very nicely. I have milkweed all over the place, and my hot peppers. This is another section that I'm kind of trying to cultivate. This was all filled out with the purple hearts, and you can see I still have a bunch of them. So I eventually I'm gonna get rid of this and only have a section dedicated, because it has nice blooms and the bees like it. So I don't want to completely eradicate it from the garden, except that I'm not going to allow it to take over, because this entire bed right here, because I didn't have a lot of plants in the last couple of years, so I just allowed it to fill in. I didn't want any exposed dirt. So it's a great ground cover, except it's so prolific that it was shading out a lot of stuff. So I have plumbago over there, and I have a honeysuckle somewhere over there. I'm hoping it doesn't get shaded out behind that lemon basil, and that's a shiso. I got the honeysuckle from one of the ladies who was selling a plant, and she had it in her front yard, and so I asked for a cutting, and so I have two of them that sprouted. This is one, a wildflower. I don't know what that is. And then I have oh my goodness, I forgot what this one is called. It's supposed to be a big bush when it comes out, and then a lantana is behind that. This particular plant will turn yellow in the spring, so this is a perennial, so it's an evergreen. It changes color in the spring. I'm getting bit by bugs. So here's another area. This is closer to the front door, I mean the back door. So here again, same story. I had purple hearts here, and so it was a whole mess of entangled plants in this area. So I've started cutting them down and clearing them out. This is a free gardenia that I got from one of the neighbors on Nextdoor app, who pulled all of her gardenias, and I happened to score one, and it did really well. It had nice blooms. It was so fragrant, so I'm very excited about this. I think this is a good spot for it. And then I have that's a turmeric that so turmeric in the garden, I kind of just plug it in wherever I can. I like the leaf, and then my sister-in-law likes the turmeric, so I harvest the roots for her. I don't use it much, but I love planting it. So I got rosemary, and then oregano, and then my peppers. So these peppers have kind of been my mainstays, and it kind of anchors this area. So I'm hoping that there's going to be that the gardenia will grow a little bit taller, and then I'll have probably another flowering plant somewhere here in the middle. All right. So here are some of the free plants that I got from the Nextdoor plant sharing group. I have a lot of aloe veras and some of these cactus. I'm not very good with succulents just yet. I'm learning to love them. In fact, when I was at Aldi yesterday, I bought these little cute things. They were like $2 for like a little pot. So I think I'm gonna start doing that, just acquiring succulents here and there if it's less than $2 or less than $5, just to kind of build it up, because I realize it's not that hard. I used to get scared of succulents because I used to kill them. They used to die on me. Okay, so here's my butterfly ginger. I got a turmeric tucked in there. This is the grape leaf. It's a black Spanish grape leaf of black Spanish grapes. Andrew's been training it to go up the column right here. And here I got this from Enchanted Garden. It has purple blooms, and for the life of me I cannot remember what it's called. So as you can notice, that's a running theme in my head of my catalog of plants. I always forget. Here's the lemon basil. It's a volunteer plant, so I'm kind of letting it grow here. I tried to shake it. They said that it helps with the mosquitoes, but I still get bit. my plumeria, which I've had for a long time. Sometimes it looks like it's gonna die, sometimes it blooms, but I think this year I'm gonna try to get real good care of it. I put more better dirt in there, so maybe it will give me blooms this year. Tucked in there are the thornless blackberries. No, this can't be, or raspberries. I forget. It's some kind of berries. I bought them from Etsy. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's because I'm being bit by mosquitoes and I can't recall what the names are. I know they're thornless. I saw a neighbor of mine where I got the bananas from, and she had it in a nice cage and it was just bursting with fruits. So I bought a whole bunch of them. I don't feel like they're rooting. This one. So the one way I know when the plants are gonna take, or if I pull on it and it doesn't give me like a give, it doesn't give on me, because then I know that there's some kind of a attraction going on with, like this one. I just pulled it out, that didn't do well. I'm gonna stick it back in. Maybe it's just a section. So I have there should be 10 of these, I think, or 15. So one of them should grow, hopefully. Zucchini, I got that free from one of the neighbors. And I have here I have a wing bean volunteer plant, and then I have a pepper volunteer plant here also. And then my oregano. This is a hibiscus that my Maria had rooted, and it was a cutting, and she had it rooting in a glass of jar of water, and so she gave them to me, and there were 3 of them. This is the only one that's doing well. The other 2, they're still alive, but it's just like a stick with a couple leaves. This, I guess it likes it here. It's getting the morning sun, so it doesn't get too much of the heat in the afternoon. I have parsley, basil, and then marigold, because I have to do companion planting with the tomato. So, and then I have my butterfly ginger is coming out soon, so I'll have blooms in just a few days. So here I have also tucked in here a zucchini alongside the lemon balm, and then this is the Mexican what is it? Oh my goodness, I am not remembering a lot of things today. Anyways, okay, and then this is my lime, and here are some more of the wildflower seeds. I've kind of just took just a small amount of seeds, and so they're doing well. Some of them are still sprouting. I got my mint here. This is the Meyer lemon that I got for free from one of the neighbors that was giving away the ceramic pots. I was so happy. So I actually planted this I put this down yesterday, and I'm hoping I didn't kill it, because I had to cut it, the roots apart, because there were 2 plants growing in the one pot. So I'm crossing my fingers that this is going to do well. The rain, I think, is actually helping, so it's not too hot for it. But I want to show you what and it's getting dark, so I'm going to cut this video in a little bit. So that Meyer lemon actually came in this pot, and the reason I had to cut it up was because there's another tree in the same pot, and this one actually has greener leaves coming out of it. So if anything, I had more hope for this plant, so I left it here. I had to take the entire plant out, so the root was exposed for a little bit, just for a few minutes, and then I put it right back here. And again, with the rain, I always like it when I plant and rain comes and shortly after, because rain is always good for the plant. Here are some more cuttings. Here's the banana stalks that I got from the neighbor. And then I tried to cut some of the the pear and the apricot. And here's some more bananas here. I think they're doing well. It feels firm. There was one that I had to take out from here. It rotted. So the lady told me if it doesn't live, then I can just call her back and get some more. And then here, I planted watermelon here, and I finally see the sprouts coming out. I had to cover it because I don't want the birds to dig at it. There's something here too, but I forgot what it is. I need to put labels on my plant. Okay, here, that's a volunteer plant tomato. No, actually no, I put those seeds down. I think they're the yellow tomatoes. And then I put beans here, bush beans, and none of them are growing. I don't know what is the deal with me with American beans. The Filipino beans, like the wing beans, the bataw, the squash, the Filipino vegetables are doing so well. But like snow peas, bush beans that are normally like easy to grow for other gardeners, they struggle. I struggle with them. All right, so then I have a whole plethora of plants here, and then here's the this is a volunteer avocado. I've had this in the pot for at least a couple of years, maybe going on 2 years now. And then there's sprouted a bell pepper in there too, so I don't know if you can see. It's a little getting dark. But I have some kind of lily in here. I don't know if that's daylily. Again, I just forget what they are. And then I put oregano just so I can have it kind of fill it up. See, I have different, because it's a big pot, I have different plants in there. Okay, last one, and I'm gonna cut off because I'm getting bit by mosquitoes. Okay, so here's another volunteer. This pot really was just for the moringa cutting and calamansi cutting, but grew this plant. I'm hoping it's cantaloupe. I think it's cantaloupe, because look at it. Because I've sowed so many of the cantaloupe seeds and none of them grew. All right, so the lights have come on and it's pretty out here. As you can see, I have my Christmas lights, my globe lights. So I kind of got lights up the backyard. And then over there you can see those 3 lights. Those are actually solar. They're like a light bulb shape, and they're hanging by it's a clipped light bulb, and it's again, it's solar powered, and I got them $1 a piece at the dollar store. I keep meaning to come back because I should have bought more. There were quite a few of them in the shelf, but I wasn't sure if it was gonna work for $1, so I only bought 3. But now I'm kind of kicking myself in the behind. I should have bought more, because it would be nice if I have them kind of all around, just little specks of light. All right, so that's it. I'll probably be talking more some more tomorrow, because I didn't talk about this section right here. All right.